Hello, 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 and welcome once again to Movies That Pop. I'm the Kernel. Let's see what popped up in theaters this week. Yes, Pixar has, for the very first time, given us two movies in the same year. One of them, Inside Out, was complex, intricately plotted, set in a world never seen before, and completely brilliant in its conception and execution. And here's the other one. The Good Dinosaur. When compared not just to Inside Out, but to the rest of the Pixar canon, the story of The Good Dinosaur is oddly simple. Incredibly simple. Deceptively simple. This doesn't make it bad. If anything, it's a fantastic palate cleanser before Finding Dory comes out next summer. It's also one of the most beautiful Pixar movies to behold. Photorealistic natural surroundings like rivers, valleys, stunning vistas with only the actual characters like the dinosaurs and the human beings looking like cartoons. It's got a nice look. All in all, it doesn't break any new ground, but it isn't completely inconsequential either. It's got moments of goofy humor, it's got moments of devastating emotional pull, and it's fun. This, in short, is the kind of movie that most non-Disney owned studios would love to make. This is the kind of movie that people think of when they think of kids' movies. And this is the kind of movie that Pixar can make in their sleep. That means it's a better than average family film and more than worth your time and money, especially if you have kids. But Pixar made it in their sleep. That's it for the capsule review. Let's get in depth. In depth. Now that's kind of funny when describing this film because there's really not much to it. The hypothetical scenario is dispensed with pretty quickly. What if humans lived in the same time as dinosaurs? Well, dinosaurs would be at the top of the food chain and humans would either be their prey or their pets. And that simple twist is as innovative as the thinking gets here. Again, from the studio that brought you Inside Out should not be on the poster. The real story is this. There's a family of apatosauruses, of which the youngest is the easily frightened Arlo. Each member of the family has a ritual to perform when they have reached a certain level of achievement, leaving their mark on the food silo of their home. They put their paws in the mud and then they stamp it on the silo. Warning, parents, be prepared for your children to celebrate each minor achievement in their lives by going to the flower bed and then leaving muddy handprints all over the walls of your house. Thanks, Pixar. I'll send you the cleaning bill. Arlo is given increasingly easy tasks to prove himself, but he's just too afraid. All he has to do is trap the critter that's been stealing food from his family and just bop it over the head. Then he gets to put his handprint on the wall. That critter, it turns out, is a human child, eventually named Spot. When his father takes him on a father-son bonding trip to track the critter, the father is caught in a sudden flood. And just like Simba, Cinderella, and Bambi before him, Arlo loses his parent to the whims of a heartless screenwriter. It's not long before Arlo chases Spot down, now blaming him for the death of his father, and they all get caught in a flooded river and end up miles away from his family farm. The rest of the movie is basically Arlo's attempt to get back home to his family. He and Spot become friends, and Arlo learns to not be such a scaredy cat. And that's more or less it. Are there other characters, other plot complications, any subplots, anything? Not really. It's just a road movie, and given the southwestern terrain and the cowboy-sounding score, it's kind of like a western road movie with a dinosaur and a little boy. So that was kind of cool. Oh, but it's a road movie in which the only two main characters don't speak the same language. We can understand the dinosaurs, but Spot doesn't speak at all. Here is the first instance of the Pixar touch that sets this movie apart. Hey, got a main character that doesn't speak? Pfft, not a problem for Pixar. Look how they brilliantly display Arlo communicating with Spot just what has happened to him and Spot communicating right back.
That's me. There's Libby. And Buck, and Mama, and and Papa. Family. Huh? You don't understand. That's okay. Yes, that's your family.
You want another example of Pixar's unique brand of cinematic bliss? Well, then look no further than having a wise old T-Rex with the voice of Sam Elliott.
It was 100 degrees in the shade. I walked for 5 days with no water. Then I saw it, a pretty pond. I bent down to take a drink when these crocs launched out of the water. One croc bit me on the face. Ain't no way I wasn't at supper. Except for one thing. I wasn't ready for dying that day. I bit one croc in half, tail whipped the other, and the last one, well, I drowned that croc in my own blood.
Whoa.
Dang! Now, I want a whole movie about that guy, because Sam Elliott is the perfect voice for a giant T-Rex with a huge facial scar. Am I right? There are so few characters in this film, so few narrative ups and downs, no plot twists, no real life lessons other than don't be afraid and friendship is awesome. It's just a forward progression until Arlo either gets home or doesn't. And because the plot is so simple, that means that the pace of the story can afford to be more lackadaisical, and you end up with a few more dialogue-free, fun, or visually interesting diversions like this scene, when Arlo and Spot come across some gophers in their travels. That scene adds nothing to the story, but it's fun, and it's fun to look at nonetheless. Now, this movie has been in development for a long time, and as a result, you sort of get the feeling like there were many subplots and a lot more narrative themes explored, and they were cut for whatever reason. But it's kind of hard to fault that decision because what remains is a simple, fun, and yes, sometimes beautiful and even heartbreaking little film. I award The Good Dinosaur a large bag of popcorn for delivering just enough surprises and clever Pixar out-of-the-box touches to stand out from the norm. It's only because their last film was the overachiever Inside Out that The Good Dinosaur could ever be seen as a disappointment, and only by those that can't see the forest for the trees. In this case, of course, neither the forest or the trees are real, but you get the idea. That does it for Movies That Pop. Don't forget to click the thumbs up icon to indicate that you liked what you saw. You can also follow me on Twitter at Movies That Pop. And as always, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss a review. Thanks for watching. I'm the Kernel. Bye!